Let's talk about scarcity versus abundance mindset. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Hannah. I am a PA who practices medicine. I'm also a trauma coach and high impact self-improvement coach for Muslim women. And this is my channel. It is a part of my effort to make God-conscious healing and self-improvement accessible to every Muslim. I want to talk to you guys about something called high impact healing. And you might not be aware of high impact healing. You might have never heard of it. And that's because I made up the phrase. It's essentially a part of the way that I help my clients maximize the benefit, inshallah, that they are getting from the coaching to the highest degree. By the way, if you are a Muslim woman who is struggling with trauma and ready to take back her life, or you want to work with me one-on-one, please know that the applications for both my trauma group coaching program and my one-on-one coaching opportunities are linked in the description. You can find them in the description of any of my videos on YouTube. But moving on, high impact healing can be explained another way, which is how can I help you, or how can you help yourself maximize the barakah in the work and effort you are putting in to heal. And healing looks different for different people. Healing might look like, at its greatest level, healing from trauma, childhood trauma, narcissistic abuse, trauma from toxic parents or toxic partners. But healing might look like identifying certain characteristics within yourself that do not align with the God-conscious version of you and working to reinvent those characteristics so they work with you, not against you. Now, what does that have anything to do with scarcity versus abundance mindset? Let's talk about it, inshallah. In the world of godless spirituality, you will often hear people talking about scarcity and abundance mindset. And I say godless because oftentimes in this world, when you're hearing these gurus and coaches and, influencers talking about this, they don't really recognize the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They may say something along the lines of the universe is doing this, the universe is doing that, but they'll never straight out say it's God. But how can we come to understand this very powerful concept as Muslims? Scarcity mindset is when you come to the world and you look at it through a lens of lack or not enoughness, right? There's not enough. Everything is hard. Everything is difficult. There's never a way out of my hardship. Oftentimes we hear scarcity mindset associated with money. It's understandable as to why so many people might experience scarcity mindset when it comes to money, especially if you grew up lower income or your parents, you might be middle upper income levels, but your parents might have grown up lower income and so they carried that mindset on and passed it on to you. But it lends itself to scarcity. There's not enough, and therefore you're always surrounding, you're always in this really fearful, negative mind space versus abundant mindset, which is the elevated mindset essentially, where you don't see that scarcity. Rather, you see expansion, you see opportunity, you see Allah's generosity. And that right there is how a Muslim looks at the scarcity versus abundance mindset. Now, scarcity versus abundance, when you are thinking in scarcity, you can have the same exact circumstances, but operate from a place of scarcity versus a place of abundance. With scarcity, you live and you think, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala isn't going to give me more. This is it. My life is just full of problems. Now, you can imagine how coming to the world, and you might not say those exact things, but the way you think about your life, the way you think about the world around you does come from that same energy, essentially. You still apply negative connotations to it. And so imagine how having that mindset is going to impact your action, because our thinking, our beliefs impact our actions. Are you going to go search for opportunities if you believe that they're scarce and you're never going to get it? Are you likely to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you believe that your circumstances are never going to change? Are you going to go out of your way to seek the barakah and the rizq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you're always in a state of not enough? No. And even if you do manage to overcome it to a certain extent, you are still going to limit yourself because that mindset is going to put up a barrier to you searching for more opportunity. Now contrast that to an abundance mindset of a Muslim. What does that look like? Same exact scenario in terms of the circumstances you're living in, maybe even your environment. But now you're coming from a place of recognizing Allah is Al-Kareem, He's the most generous. Allah is Al-Fattah, He is the opener. Allah hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel, Allah is my sustainer, and that is enough for me, right? And now what does a person operating in that mindset start doing? They're going to constantly be making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, trusting that Allah hears them and answers the dua. They're going to constantly be looking for opportunity. They're going to be more excited about taking the opportunity. When they get knocked down, they're not going to be like the person with scarcity mindset who's, oh, you see, this is just confirming my beliefs. They're going to say, okay, challenge happened. I'm going to try again. Let me try a different way. They're going to see all of these paths to their goals in front of them, and they're going to realize if this door is closed, maybe I'll try another door. They're going to be able to exercise more patience with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but then they're also going to recognize that dua changes destiny. Dua changes decree. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this incredible blessing of being able to make dua. They are going to express so much gratitude for what they do have because they're not in a scarcity mindset where they're feeling negative towards the things they have because they feel it's little. Rather, they recognize Allah has given me so much. Even if I don't have everything that I want right now, I look at what I do have. Maybe I have my family, maybe I have my health, maybe I have free time, maybe I have safety, whatever it might be. Look at all that Allah has given me. Again, let's connect this to high impact healing. High impact healing starts with the mindset shifts, because when you're doing healing work, trauma healing work, or just non-trauma healing work, which mindset do you think is going to lend itself to the greatest results in your healing? The scarcity mindset or the abundance mindset? The abundance mindset, obviously. So you coming to your healing from an abundance mindset, yes, I'm hurting. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, I'm struggling. Yes, my life feels like it's been closing in on me, but I'm going to recognize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a healer. And so I'm going to implore him and I'm going to reach out to him and I'm going to take the action. I'm going to tie my camel and have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to put in the effort. That is part one of high impact healing. Now you're coming to this place where you're willing to try everything that is halal and safe for you to try to heal. You are going to do it. You're going to look for the opportunities. You're going to look for the people who can support you in your healing. You are going to, when those opportunities come up and it feels like, oh my gosh, I can't get an appointment, or oh my gosh, this program costs too much. You're not going to come to it thinking that way. You are going to come to it thinking, okay, Allah put this opportunity in front of me. This is an answer to dua. How do I find a way to get that appointment? How do I get on that waiting list? Right? How do I make sure that I can actually get there? How do I get a ride there if I don't have a ride there? How do I maybe consume as much content around this as I can so at least I'm building up my brain and my mindset and learning as much as I can until I can sit down with this person? How do I make sure that my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is helping me in my healing? How do I change the words that I use and the language that I use so I'm leaning more into this abundance mindset and not pulling myself back with this negative self-talk? How do I make it, if this program that I want to be a part of is out of my budget right now, how do I find ways to collect, how do I get resourceful so I can actually pay for that and be a part of that? How do I do all of these things? How do I get around people who are also serious about their healing so I get to benefit from their motivation and their energy and I get to be like, oh my God, right? Because the like attracts like. When we're around people, the Prophet ﷺ tells us this, right? In the sense of the way friends impact friends. We influence each other a lot. How do I make that space for myself and take those opportunities for myself? That is part one of high impact healing. The second part of high impact healing is finding the methods, the actual tactics and techniques and the methods that make the greatest impact with the least amount of effort. Now, I'm very passionate about this because healing trauma is hard. It is very hard, and I find myself very frustrated. You know, people will do it for years and years and years and years and then feel like they never made any headway. And that's hard to come to terms with, subhanAllah. But there are ways, and I talk about this, and if you are interested in learning about my 3-step system to healing trauma, I have a webinar, a free webinar. It is not on YouTube. It's not public on YouTube for people to watch. You can go to the link in my description and watch that webinar, inshallah, after you finish this video. But there are ways to maximize your healing trauma specifically that I'm talking about, so that you can make leaps and bounds without spending hours and hours and hours a day. And that's barakah. That's barakah. The way I describe barakah, oftentimes it's translated to blessing, but it's almost the magnified or the multiplied blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah puts barakah in something, this $5 that you have now has the impact of 500. When Allah puts barakah in your time, you're able to achieve so much more than you would otherwise. That's what barakah is. Allah puts barakah in your efforts. So we have to find those techniques. We have to find those methods. And then we have to be consistent with them. High impact healing requires consistency. It requires showing up for yourself. It requires maintaining the promise to yourself to do the work. It is reminding yourself that you are worth it because you are a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah wants us to live a dignified life. So if you find that you're in the scarcity mindset, start thinking about, how do I shift from the scarcity mindset to this abundance mindset? It looks like being more intentional about your dua. It looks like allowing those whispers of your heart, the things that you want to ask for but you don't really think are possible because of this limiting mindset that you've had. It looks like asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for them. Leave the answer to Him. It looks like putting in the effort that because you know what you can do to help yourself in this situation. We all have a locus of control. We all have things that we can do, even if they might seem small, that are going to make things a tad bit better for us. And it sometimes takes some creative thinking to get there, but high impact healing requires us to start there, get creative. And the world just completely changes, subhanAllah, when you're able to shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Now, for my ladies who are ready to lean into that abundance mindset, inshallah, who are ready to heal their trauma, please know that my trauma group coaching program is accepting applications officially. There's a wait list that's usually there, but now the application is officially open for the next cohort, which is inshallah launching in June 2024. If you're watching this video afterwards, that's fine. Apply to the waiting list. Abundance mindset. Don't think scarcity. There's no space for me. If you really want this, make that intention, make the dua, get resourceful, inshallah, and apply. And of course, if you want to work one-on-one with me, although those spots tend to be not very many, go ahead to the link in my description. And for all the rest of you, please continue to enjoy the videos on YouTube, inshallah. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and comment below what your takeaways are. Assalamu alaikum, and I will see you in the next one.